I rode my bike up to the campus, for once feeling prepared. I had a quiz today in world history. Normally, it's a snooze job, but not lately. It's all due to a late transfer student. Hyrum Koning barely made it before the ad deadline. I made sure the tickets to the auto show were still in my pocket. That's where I was going to take Hiram this weekend, if he said yes. Brown hair, amber eyes, an accent I couldn't place, but I think it's Dutch, and he is my height and my age, 22. Cute, too. Not in a cutesy kind of way, but more of a I've seen the world kind of way. We sat next to each other, because my name is Craig Linden. I hate the teachers that make us sit alphabetical, like Professor Ulrich. Get real. This is college, not middle school. Still, Professor Ulrich knows everybody's name, and I suspect she even takes attendance. Was she a middle school teacher in a past life? Hiram's first day in class, Professor Ulrich shifted the whole class, again, so we sat in alphabetical order. Hiram and I have sat next to each other since. I hated Ulrich at the time, but not since I got to know Hiram. I think Hiram's gay. At least I hope so. I am. I hope he says yes. He was already in class, a small sack next to him. I took a seat to his right and pulled out my books. The whiteboard at the front of the class had a big sign on it, Quiz Today. Underneath that, Professor Ulrich was writing in a bold green marker, Closed book quiz, notes allowed. All phones and electronic devices are to remain off until all quizzes are turned in, or you will receive a failing grade. Use black pen only. If you need to use the restroom, do so before starting the quiz. No talking allowed. I brought you this. Hiram reached into the sack and handed me a still warm breakfast burrito and a coffee. Our hands touched. A tingle shot through me. I wanted to ask Hiram out. I'm sure we had some kind of chemistry. Our eyes connected. Hiram quickly looked away, but not before I saw him suppress a smile. I've got a question for you, I whispered. Professor Ulrich stood up from where she had been writing, lightly stretching her back. Class, clear your desks of everything but your notes and pens. Please put all phones away. After the quiz, you may quietly step into the hall until class resumes. She's pretty serious about her quizzes, Hiram said. Did you do the readings? I asked. Only half. Last night, the worker for the next shift didn't show, so I had to work until 11. Some days, between my family, work, and here, I can't keep up. If it wasn't for Marta watching over the kids, I don't know how I'd get things done, Hiram said. I should have known. Hiram's not gay. What am I going to do with an extra ticket? Though he didn't wear a ring, Hiram was married, and not only that, he had kids. There goes my dream of a perfect date. I kept my face calm to hide my disappointment. What did you want to ask me? Hiram whispered. Class, be quiet. Starting now, Professor Ulrich said, and began passing out the 2-page quiz. I gave Hiram a quick smile and took a look at the quiz. Lord help me, it was more of a test. Even with all the notes I'd taken, Professor Ulrich's little quiz took 45 minutes of the 90-minute class, and I wasn't the last one to finish. Hiram was still laboring over it when I turned my paper in and went into the hall. 50 minutes after we started, he came out, one hand running his fingers through his hair. He gave me a wry, exhausted grin and said, I did not do very well. Everything I thought was important, she didn't even ask about. At least it's done. Can I buy you a drink from the vending machine? I asked. Sure. What did you want to ask me earlier? Hiram asked. It's nothing. I was going to ask you out, but that was before I learned you had a wife. How many children do you have? I asked. Hiram's eyes opened a little wider. What? You mean Marta? We're staying with my aunt and uncle until we get our own place. Marta is my cousin, and she's been watching over my younger sisters while everybody's working. So, what did you have in mind? Hiram said. Relief surged through me, and I suspect my smile went from ear to ear. The antique car show is Saturday. Would you go with me? And then out to dinner? How about Gordon's Burgers? I asked. Professor Ulrich opened the class door, holding a stack of quizzes. We will resume class now. Please take your seats. As we were walking in, Hiram took my hand and pulled me to the side. It's a date. I gave his hand a little squeeze as he led me back to our seats. Saturday might have been our first date, but it wasn't our last date. The end. Thank you for listening, everybody. I'm Gio, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.